I just want to say thank you, and I am very happy to meet you à travers this today, and to have some exchange. I don't used to speak about my music. I'm not educated like this, but it's it's important for us to communicate our music.
Oui, c'est vrai.
Music is not done to stay at home silent. It is to be played, to be heard. The returns are important too because we need as artists.
That was a good introduction to the video, what you just said. So that we will leave that as the beginning. And so we now, and here's Jerry Casey. But we'll proceed with what we're doing here. And usually at the beginning, hello, Jerry. We'll begin by if Jean-Christophe could tell us his biography, maybe in your own words, but if you prefer to read it, you can, but tell us something about yourself.
Yes, okay. So I just need wait to sorry. What can I wrote already some words as you can see, but I will just say again perhaps the most important things. For example, the Alps, the mountains, and because now we live on the countryside in Burgundy. I don't know if you know, but good wines. Not only, and it's more hills than mountains. But what is important for me is to live near nature as a source of inspiration, animals, trees, forest, all water, etc. And also, this is what I say. I have always loved creating different things, sculpting wood, making musical instruments, and poems, short stories, without pretensions. But now it's helped me to. Sometimes I think you met this situation. For example, we had a project in Switzerland to compose a musical tale for children choir and instruments. And I found the poet in Switzerland. He sent me some books. Okay, but it was impossible because you know why? Because of the rights, and the edit publishers and too complicated. We didn't have time. So sometimes you have to do yourself this part, and well, it's like oh. And perhaps music, I begin in a little village. An old lady in France, we had a famous method for piano. It's called la méthode rose, the rose method. I don't know why rose. She was an old lady in the village, and the room was in the dark. There was a cat. Well, there was a cat, and these are my first memories about music, about learning something in music. But I continue. And when I was a teenager, guitar was important for me for many years after. And I think perhaps it helps me to to first improvise and then compose. You know, it's all is linked. Sorry for my English.
I think we're understanding you fine.
No, thank you.
Lydia is doing a good job.
Yes. Yes, what I see is something important because our origin, my origin is so one is my grandfather. He was not a musician. He was more interested by sport. He was very good in sports, and he had a lot. He had hard all the week, you know, on the to build houses, and then the weekend he makes sports, skiing, cycling. I like too because I come from the Alps, but I think I felt when he died. I recite just, you know, Lydia and Lydia, comment on appelle la pelle, une pelle pour prendre du sable.
Oh. Shovel.
Shovel, is it?
For the sand.
Yeah, Shovel.
Okay, okay, thank you. And when I take this cet outil in my hands, I feel a strong impression of my grandfather because I think this instrument, this it's like a music instrument. I felt something strong, and what I want to say is that how do I say that? For example, I had to compose Saint Joseph Mass, and I thought sure about my grandfather, for example. But for example, my grandmother was also very interesting in poetry. So I think these first years of my life, I received all. I'm very thankful for that. And so it's what Ennio Morricone said: build a house and build a new music is rather the same. You felt that the bass and the bass. What I am happy to find this evening, this afternoon, this day with you, it's to exchange with not only about music but also about faith, and because it's rather difficult in France because what I said already to William is that the situation is very bad here for secular music. When you think about the past, there were so many great composers, great period of the French music, French secular music. Now they don't. It's very hard to make something. It must be more and more simple, or that's etc. So this situation is rather bad, and it's also in the society you feel the same because people don't have any more repères. So des repères, c'est ça Lydie? Sorry.
Des repères. They don't have their bearings. They don't have landmarks.
That's it. Thank you.
Well, perhaps now we should begin listening to music. It was very good what you were saying, and please keep talking. But we're going to hear first In the Heart of the Tree, and it's an homage to Hans Erni. Who is Hans Erni? I live in New Jersey, so I'm ignorant. Can you tell me?
Yes. First, I want to say good afternoon to Nails. See the new person there. Hans Erni was a Swiss painter, and when I discover his the music is not for.
I apologize for being late.
Ah.
Just as I went to click to join you, I got a power surge. My computer and went off. My power went out, and just long enough that I had to restart everything, and it took me a long time to come. So I apologize for being late.
No problem. Hello. Pleased to meet you. And yes, he's a painter. I like his work. Yeah. So, but you know that this music first is on the wait. I don't want to say, but yes, I see. It is from is musical tale, and so the paintings are not the inspiration of the music. I put them together because I was looking for something else. But I like very much his universe.
Well, let me do a
Do you
couple.
want that? Do you want, as I said, a couple of words? How this music arrive in the tale?
Yeah, so please do. Yes.
It's just a short, but not all. This is too long. The tales speak about some animals in Africa, and the hero is a hare, a lièvre. That's it.
A hare.
Hare. Sorry for my accent.
Yes.
A hare, and he's coming back to home, and he's in the desert, and he's near to die, but he meets a baobab. Baobab? And,
Baobab, like the tree?
yes, a tree.
Yes, the baobab.
Baobab. And in the baobab, with the baobab, he could have something to drink, to eat, and even the tree. And one moment, open his trunk, and there is in a treasure. And he said to him, you can choose what you want. And our answered, no, I just want a little gift for my wife. And now the music of the solo clarinet bass is to try to transmit this idea of the treasure, with the shining pieces or kind of stuff. And also even more the symbol of the treasure. It's not money or pieces, but something in the heart.
Well, let me click the right things here. Hopefully, open. Oh, wait a minute. I need to do open in Safari followed by.
I don't know if you already, I think so. Some people from about you has already composed for the clarinet. What is interesting, is multiphonics, because if you try to write them, for example, each musician, each instrument has his own. So you just try to write something near what you mean, and you have to accept that the result could be different, but in the way and in the thinking about the composer. I don't know if you mean if you understand what I mean.
So you're saying bass clarinet has different.
Not only the bass, yes, clarinet generally. Well, perhaps it's the same, with the flute. There are books on them. You find many pages about. But when you discuss with the musician, he said, "Okay, but I don't find this exactly." So perhaps the basic harmonics, multi-harmonics are okay for everyone. But then when you explore, because it changed with avec le souffle, with the
breath.
breath, with the instrument.
Any comments from anyone before we move along? This is yes.
I have some experience writing for clarinet choir.
Huh.
Somebody out of the blue asked me to write for the student choir at Berkeley. So I took out the books and studied everything I could on clarinet and worked. Yep. That one was a success. So I wrote a second one. So I've worked with the different kinds, but somehow one instrument pure like that is so very different. You were able to do with that one what we cannot do when we're working on orchestration.
Yep.
But I understand what you were saying with you write something and then the soloist brings it to life and it's different.
That's
not
it.
like the book.
I don't know you, but myself, I know that I have no problem with this. I think some composers are more, they want exactly this. So, I like that the musician, the interpret, we have exchange. He knows, she knows more than me, the instrument. So I like this kind of, it's for him, for her, it's also more freedom, more possibility of creativity, and to bring his opinion, his thinking. But that's personal, no?
Yeah.
We're in this together, performers and composers together.
I loved the piece. I thought that you did it was amazing how you, with the special effects of the bass clarinet, you were able to create the mysterious sounds that seem to go with the paintings, every single one. And just by, doing that, that was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Now we come to Of Birds and Men. Can you tell us something about that?
Yes. Yeah. This is very important for me because the world premiere was in Argentina, and in Argentina I have some family too. My grandmother was born there. Long story, I don't know. I will tell no, not now, but and when I had a contact there with Marina Lopez, she's a great clarinetist too, and she worked a lot. I don't know if you know the situation in Argentina. It's just terrible because here in France we say, "Oh, we don't have this. This is difficult," but it's nothing to do with the life as an artist and as a musician, as I think also as people, and it takes many time many. It's a long time to arrive to the premiere, but they do, and I'm very happy. And the young person who played the vibraphone and some the percussions is his son. His her husband is also a pianist. All the family is a musician, artist. We have to meet, and she studied clarinet in France, so she speaks very good French. We have just to meet, but it's a long way to go to Argentina. And the subject was absolutely free. We find money in France because in Argentina, no money. No money. It's very hard to find, even for now we have a new project with the young corps, national corps in Argentina, and it takes months and months to arrive to the premiere. But we learn to be patient. And about Birds and Men, because of it is for clarinet, sorry, I'm sorry, violin, piano, and percussion. Percussion is vibraphone and some little different things, and also a part is each musician can improvise on instrument or with some little percussion instrument to inspired by bird songs. And I think, like Olivier Messiaen and many musicians, that the birds are our masters, no? And I think about also the book of Mice and Men of John Steinbeck, and this relation between animals and men. And, so that's it. And also I think the forest, Amazon, where they live. So, um,
Très original, très française.
Merci, merci.
Très intéressant.
Very exciting. I should love the percussion.
Thanks to William for the score to prepare that.
It's easier than turning pages.
Yes.
Are the bird songs in what we just heard, because this is a much longer piece, are they all recognizable species of birds, or sometimes are you being your own bird?
Sometimes yes. So in the I don't remember the fourth. There are 8 parts. The fourth part, I think so. The name the birds are written on the score. So I try to imitate them the most near with the instruments. And we so and after that some are more imaginary. Yes.
John, can you
Yes.
hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Hi. When did you decide on the instrumentation? Did you
So-
first hear the instruments in your mind before you even started the score? Or did you, like some people do, they just start on the piano and put together everything and then assign instruments to it later? What did you
Yes,
actually?
yes. Yeah, I think it depends on the project. Sometimes some musician ask, and the formation is already existing, and some are very famous, like clarinet, piano, percussion, for example. And now this is a violin more. In fact, she asked me. She think about already about these musicians. So she asked me, "What do you think about that?" And with this instrumentation, I took many days to keep my mind free and to imagine what can be interesting with this association of sounds.
So you had the instruments already in mind
Yes,
from the beginning.
for this, but sometimes I'm thinking about. It depends. Sometimes I could write. Generally, yes. Or perhaps you make the same. I wrote the score for piano because it's quicker. But you have already, this here you make you write bassoon. Here you write oboe because you know already that this will be the instrument. But then all the details come after. Sorry.
Right. I'm so glad you mentioned about Messiaen because I'm an organist. I've played quite a bit of Olivier Messiaen's music, and I know he had this sensation with birdsong, and he actually, maybe you know this, but he went to Antarctica during his lifetime to see if he could hear any other kind of birdsong from a different continent. I mean, that's the craze that he had towards birdsong. I mean, to go to Antarctica, so he was an amazing man, amazing creator.
Yes. Did you see him? You can see some movies with him in the forest with his little notes carnet, and he's written the bird, the song. Do you know? Is that?
Of course, I never met him in person, of course.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was quite fascinating. Of course, in the United States, in the 1970s and 80s, they sort of thought he was kind of weird, kind of crazy, at that time. And but of course, his reputation has just been strongly increased over the years. And of course, in America, we play, especially with the organ, we play his music quite often. And Quartet for the End of Time is one of my favorite scores.
Yes, mine too.
he was inspired also by Grand Canyons, you know, not only by birds, but also by the nature. And, yes. And I think he was a very good, we say that in French, he was a very good teacher, because for composition, now it's difficult to learn that, to teach that, but because open mind to that each student find in himself, herself, what she want to do, what she want to write. I never met him, unfortunately, but one of my teacher was Rafi Organja. He was an organist, and he was a student of Olivier Messiaen.
Now you're going to tell us about your interest in Amerindian poetry and the piece which we're going to hear part of, which is the part is "O Great Spirit." Can you tell us something about that?
Yes, this is also it was interesting because it was in Paris. The choir was amateur, the orchestra not so bad, because teachers and good students from the different schools, music school from Paris. The soprano was rather good. For my opinion, I need a stronger voice. But she's good. She's okay. The conductor was great. She's a friend now, because she made a big work with the amateur choir, difficult for them. And they asked me sacred music, and we met together, and we spoke about, Te Deum, like this, we don't know. And then they say, you are free. And I remember, I don't forget that, since I was a young man, I read many books on and by, I don't know how you say now, North Amerindians, no, Amerindians, or native, because I found in the strong spirituality, and so I look on different texts, poetries. I made a choice. I was in contact with one, but he died a few years ago now. But so it was very interesting, because he was live. He was alive, and it is the part on the coyote, and I just want, by the music, I wanted to express my love to the spirit, and not only also about the relation with the nature, that is for me very important today, and that we forget, because we live in person, we decide live in cities, and they don't have an idea of what is the life in nature. Sorry for the quality. Huh? It's just terrible because it was in the Saint-Louis-en-l'Île in Paris, and not good micros, and that's life. The hard life of musician. Composer.
You sound like you should be a composer. You're complaining about the sound quality. Yes.
Yes.
There was so much effective, you know, this whole idea of nature and everything. There was such a sense of the wind, you know, coming through the whole orchestra. It just sort of like it went round and round, just like we sense it all around us. That whatever you did to make that feel like that, I really like that effect, and the give and take within the course, you know, it really suited the work. So I love vocal stuff anyway.
Thank you.
The Passion of our Lord Jesus Christ according to St. John. I'm not going to try to say that in French. And we're going to hear a part of it. We're going to hear about the part when from where they cross the Kidron Valley and they're in Gethsemane, and Judas shows up with his entourage, and then they lead Jesus away. And I don't want to comment on the piece after it's over. I can make a comment too. What can you tell us about? You've done all four passions. Have you set the music?
The project was in Autun Cathedral in the center of France. Very beautiful church, cathedral, and to make, you know, each year. Lucas, Marcus, and Matthäus, and John. So we made the third in Autun, and Saint John was in Briançon,
hold on,
South France.
Did you say Autun like? Okay,
the town.
So it has to do with NATO, and then you said the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then you were saying something about the church that it was at.
The town is Autun.
Autun. Okay, okay. So not NATO, but Autun.
No.
Okay.
And for John, it's Briançon. It's for the 300th anniversary. They asked me, and so the four are different for different instruments, because it's more for us interesting. What I try to do is that each is different by the. I met the bishop of Autun, and we spoke together about the evangelist and about the Bible, because he knew the Bible more than I know, and that's it. And for example, for the St. John, so we decide to put 12 instruments as the 12 apostles, and the soloist, it is a woman who tells the story, and the choir was also amateur, and it was rather a lot of work for them. So some of the solists are rather difficult for them, but I was happy about the experience on niveau about music and also spirituality. And the man, sorry, who sing Jesus, he's a friend of mine. He was in the Conservatoire Supérieur in Lyon, very good player of, you know, trombone and sackbut. And after he decided to become a priest in Briançon, un prêtre, and yes, it is not le prêtre roux. It's not like Vivaldi. We say in France, le prêtre roux, the red hair Christ. Antonio Vivaldi. I don't know if you say that in US too. And and Jean-Michel, my friend, is the blonde Christ because he was. So it's a story about also friendship. And the 12 musicians were teachers from the school, the music school of Briançon, and some are amateur too.
Let me, in my way, this entire piece is an hour long, and if you, tomorrow I will send out, all of you should get this, I think, the same music we're hearing, but with links so you can hear this entire work, which is about an hour long. And let me
que tu m'as donné.
I need to speak first. C'est formidable d'entendre la passion en français. C'est
Ah bon?
toujours en latin ou en allemand, mais du français, ah, ça fait du bien au cœur. Okay, now let me translate for people who don't speak English. It is just so good, so refreshing, so delightful to read, to hear a passion in French. Not in Latin, not in German, but in French. Oh my, so good.
It's very graceful music, and yet the words are painted in the music, but the patina over the whole thing is graceful and lovely.
Thank you.
I liked every time before Jesus, you got prepared that this was going to be Jesus speaking. It just sort of like you set it a little bit apart for what Jesus would say. I mean, as soon as I would hear it again, I thought, this is going to be Jesus speaking. I don't know if I misinterpreted things. I really like that.
So tomorrow or this week, when you get the listening page, go to this link and wind it back to the beginning, and you can hear the entire Passion, which has quite an effect to hear the whole thing. And
If you have time.
you also feature a hymn which is used in a movie which is called Babette's Feast. I don't know if any of you know that movie. But in a Lutheran, I'm Lutheran, so if you but suffer God to guide ye, that's a very beautiful hymn. And but you keep doing variations on that rather than having "O Sacred Head Now Wounded" and "O Dearest Jesus, What Law Hast Thou Broken," and etc. It's done in the variations on this one thing, and the beginning and the end also, you have a scripture reflection on the Passion, like a bookends to the whole thing. It's nicely structured.
Thank you. One thing interesting that the bishop asked me, it is that the people, the audience, I would say that can participate too. It is because we chose to write the choral. I see that James wrote some words. Hello,
James. Yes, you're muted.
Yes.
James, if you want to speak and you want us to hear you, which we do want to hear you, would you unmute? There you go. You unmuted.
I don't know if it's on my computer speakers or not. Is it working?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
we hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. I got the time zone wrong. So I only came in, 10 minutes ago. Sorry very much. But your work is great. And I just love all languages singing the word. I think that's the highest thing. St. Francis said, "He who sings prays twice," right? So, and I guess another question I would like is, what composers do you have most influence over you? I'm going to assume maybe French. I love Fauré and Debussy,
Yeah. And Ravel too. Ravel.
Oh yeah, not as much as Debussy.
Okay. We say in France that some people you have two kind of French musician. So the person who like most Debussy and the most Ravel. I don't know. I like both because the atmosphere, the orchestra are so fantastic. So
Okay. So now that you keep paying attention to me, which I'm very gratified. This was a live performance. Was it in the studio or live?
alive. Yes, I would like we have the project to make this with professional musician in recording, but for the moment it never happens. It's too hard to
It's
find them.
very expensive.
That's it. That's the word.
Pray that God will grant you all the resources you need.
Same to you.
Can I ask everyone a question? You know, I've had such trouble finding live musicians. I mean, I have an 80-voice choir in my church. I cannot get one of them in front of my microphones. They're too busy. And so I just started using some software called East-West Choirs. They sing the lyrics you type. I don't know. Anybody using any software-driven composing?
We have someone in our group that does. He's not here right now. And it does,
I feel it's a compromise, you know, because I want to be old school. I want to have real people, you know.
I have a question. So this was a live performance, and then how did you get the video? Who made it?
This is I just chose some you know famous paintings about the story of Jesus. So it's not ideal, but it's to make something to put on YouTube.
You did a good job with that too. It's a nice thing to have. It's nice to look at performers, but particularly when it's telling a story,
Yeah.
That was good, I thought. Now, what about, tell us about, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I'm going to call him Growly.
You like him. Monster. So it was last year. This is a very, you will see this is not so bad production. They make a very good work because musicians and the core is a maîtrise from Metz in France. They asked me for a sort of an oratorio to say that mystery, you know, and there is a famous legend in this city about Saint Clement, because I think there are many Saint Clement, but there were one in Metz. He came from Rome because in Metz there was a monster, and he came to deliver the city. I chose to make a happy hand, sort of happy hand. This is the monster is not destroyed, but you know it's more than the Saint Jerome and the lion. You know, Saint Jérome's il a soigné le lion, il a enlevé je
Saint
trouve même plus mes
Jerome,
mots en français.
Une épine.
Épine,
Yeah.
merci.
So this is Saint Jerome who healed the lion, who cured him, who removed the thorn. And so here we have something a little similar to that, where Saint Clement, instead of killing the dragon or the whatever animal there,
il le soigne et après il plonge dans l'eau, donc elle le symbole aussi peut-être du baptême ou du.
So he heals him, he cures him, and then he puts him in water, which could be a symbol of baptism.
And tell us about, well, maybe you should tell us that after we hear the music. I'm going to, you can say whatever you'd like right now, but I mean, I'll ask that question later.
Okay. What was the moment? I don't remember. Which part? Is the beginning? The beginning? Is this the beginning?
It's no, not. It's from 4 minutes to 9 minutes.
Okay.
And it ends with the words, "and everyone despairs."
Ah, okay.
And you're going to hear, in this case, there's a tenor solo, a narrator. You don't see the narrator; he's not in the video, but both the girls and the women that are singing in the ensemble.
Mm.
This is very charming music. It's lovely.
Perhaps just one thing, or after, it's important. They asked me I didn't know exactly the orchestration of the mass of the pêcheurs,
Forêt.
fishers, forêt, and the messager. I don't know if you know. And it was they asked me for the same instrumentation, and that was very exciting. And just a difference, it's not an harmonium but an accordion. But that's not a problem. Rossini does that already, in yes.
James, it's nice to have you with us.
Oh, thank you.
You're a breath of fresh air. Don't get too fresh though. Okay. So let's okay, here we go. Here we go.
Did you see the subtitles?
That
Did
was
you
where
see
we
the
were going to
subtitles?
stop. Was that all right? We stopped there?
Ah, it was a little. Doesn't matter. It's like an aperçu.
I don't know what he said.
So I should have left it on longer. is what-
Yes.
Seems it's better
Okay.
than the contrary.
I can go back and put it on again.
Don't know if you
That's
have
what
time.
happens.
If you have time.
Well, we'll make a little time. Okay, that's.
Well, you were asking about the subtitles. I actually did not watch because I wanted
Yes, I
to
know.
hear, and they articulate very well. We can
Yes.
recognize most of the words. It's beautiful.
And that's difficult in French.
Would that
Thank
be
you,
a good
William.
place? Okay.
Thank you.
You did want to
It
hear.
was important. Sorry, it was important in this kind of project to show something. You think about your young people who think that you have to find a story and that could interest them. Very important because if it's children or teenagers or
How did the
say-
children react to singing it? Did anybody comment, say anything?
no. Unfortunately, I don't understand the situation. Did you have already this kind of things? It's strange because they make very good work. I was invited, but after it was a rather. You say that perhaps in the north of France, c'était froid un peu, not so exchanges between us. I was a little disappointed. But the work was good, so it is the most important thing, no?
Yes. Any comments on that music you just heard? And again, this piece also, you can hear the whole thing if you go to the link on the listening page tomorrow and wind it back to the beginning, and you hear the whole thing.
I would use the word contemplative.
Thank you.
And I think you must have a deep faith and a deep prayer life. It's to me, this is presenting the gospel and in a prayerful way to encourage people to become more spiritual, actually, more contemplative, and it worked for me.
Thank you.
Did I understand you just wanted the orchestration of something I didn't quite understand.
To who?
Could,
Can you
could
hear
you
me?
repeat? Because
Okay. They requested a particular orchestration for this work. And could you tell me again what they chose, the work they chose for the orchestration?
okay, it was la messe des pêcheurs de Villerville, the mass of the fishers of Villerville from Gabriel Fauré and André Messager. It was very interesting because I read that they were on vacancies in the little village in Britain, and there was some ladies were singing and perhaps children, I don't remember, and they had the instruments. It is you seen as you say two violin, viola, cello, double bass, one flute, one oboe, one clarinet. Do I forget someone? But oh, it's okay. And it's and the harmonium or accordion. And they asked me the same instrumentation. So I hope that in one concert we could have the mass from Fauré Messager, who I love, the whom I love the music, and this Miracle of Saint Clement. Is it okay what I say?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did they do that at the same concert? Did they do the foray with your piece or just your piece?
Yes, they have done.
They did the foray also.
Yes, yes, too.
For the fisherman mass.
It was the idea.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay.
I got the impression that you were a little disappointed at the end, but I didn't understand what.
Why? Because William asked me what did the children think about the music. I know that they were happy because the conductor said no problem at all. We did not need to discuss to change something, but it was just yes, what I said. Perhaps it is normal in Metz that the people are not so kind. No, really.
That's also a famous.
Generally, but I prefer the situation because sometimes you have the situation, the person are very, very, very kind, but they don't make the good work with the music. You know that? Because they speak a lot, but they didn't work enough. But perhaps because they didn't have enough time. But there they make a very good work. But after the communication was not so. For us, we have told what we want by the music, and that was enough.
If the children
That's
were
nice.
less well behaved, they would have talked more. But you wouldn't have liked that. And the Metz Cathedral is famous for many stained glass windows, I know, and I love Marc Chagall, and that cathedral there are two large windows of his.
Yes, this was not in the Metz Cathedral. It was in the Saint Joseph church. It's just near. Very beautiful paintings.
It was not
in Metz.
I see. Oh,
yep. Yes, Chagall is wonderful.
Can you tell us about what a milonga is?
Milonga. Milonga is a sort of dance in South America, in Argentina. There are many and famous milonga. I think so. Also by Piazzolla. And so, as I was guitarist, and I have also family in South America. So I thought about all of this kind of things, and I wanted to dedicate a piece for this great instrument, particularly difficult and to write for. If you are not a guitarist, you need to work with one to write for this instrument particularly. It's the same for many instruments, but because of you have 6 chords, and the position of the accords. Some are impossible, some are possible. And what can I say? I met this incredible musician. He's from Poland. He was just great. The sound and the musicality. I didn't need to ask so many things, and we done. I don't know if you know the guitar, if you compose, if you like it, but the problem is that I think as a guitarist that perhaps it's the same with organ or with how do you say that it was rather the same kind of music that you hear for the instrument. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but
Jean-Christophe, if you look at James Worth's background, you see
no.
he has,
Yes,
he has a lot of
I
flutes.
see already mandolin, jazz mandolin, guitars, and violin. Yes. Are you playing all these instruments?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great, wonderful.
Not
You
all
like.
of them well. Mandolin and guitar, I play well. Violin, viola, cello, just fair.
Yeah, but great, it's great, wonderful.
Well, let's listen to Milonga Pampeana.
Pampeana is Pampeana. Sorry, is a beautiful plant that you can see in the. And I remember as a child, when I was a child, my grandmother spoke often about this time in the countryside in Argentina. So it's a beautiful plant.
So translate, can you? So Milonga is a dance, and the
Yes,
Pampeana is a plant. Is that correct?
Yes, from the Pampa. Pampa, is the countryside of very famous in Argentina, and it's a plant from the Pampa, Pampean. I can show you perhaps a picture. And it is important question, because the idea is that you are in the Pampa and the wind bring. I thought I wrote a little text about that, and the wind brings different, animals, sounds, and you are here and you discover all this kind of life. I have to find. I will send to you. Wait.
Okay.
I don't find the.
Ooh. Ooh.
A great guitarist, great musician. I was looking to write to you or both of you a little text about, but I don't know how to do that. Like you do, James.
Oh, you
Sorry.
mean chat?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
What is
Bottom,
it?
it says chat. Like chat,
Right.
like
Yes, chat, but in fois, I don't partager discussion. Yes. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because,
So
as I said,
you wrote that.
yes.
You can
But
play that.
no, when I was a young guitarist, I think in the past, yes, because I play via Lobos, studies and prelude. Not now, no, no. I play very, no, I
Okay.
can't.
Well, I heard Villalobos' influence, and I think that writing is as good or better. I've heard everything Villalobos played. I've played most of his works, and you are as good as or better. And so I hope that you'll become as famous for that, because that is tremendous writing. It's so what do you call that? Guitaristic. It is so conducive to the guitar. And I want the sheet music, so I've got to get with you and I've got to buy it and I'm gonna learn to play it.
oh,
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, James.
Perhaps you
I
could.
wanted to ask something.
Yep.
So I went back to your children's choir, and all that. What vocal range are you using for that children's choir? They have limited range.
Yes, this is a very important question. When we have each time we have to discuss with the conductor, because it could be different to some different places. I don't know why, because, for example, sometimes I need to transpose one tone one higher, because for the sounds of the children's voice is if it's too low, you hear nothing. But on the contrary, it is if it's too high, it's too hard too. So it depends. And in France, the level is not so good about the chorus. This chorus, Maîtrise of Metz, is excellent, and Lyon too. But in many cities, it's not so good. So you have to be careful about that.
Well, in that piece, where did you go to the top? D, somewhere
Okay,
like
I
a
did understand.
D?
So J. Growly, J. But it's exceptional,
E flat?
J, no, G, Sol,
Oh,
Sol,
G.
G,
G, Sol au-dessus de la clé de Sol.
yes,
That's
G
very,
above, an octave and a half above middle C.
That's it.
that's hard.
It's high.
Very.
Growly! The monster.
Terribly.
The monster.
Sopranos want some high notes.
Well,
The tenor.
I was told
Sorry.
never to go right above a D. In the
Yes,
staff.
now generally one ask me a D for this, yes.
Yeah, I guess the vowel was good. It's an A vowel, A, we, and then the E at the end. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
And the
Jim-
tenor is excellent too. He's from Korea. He's in the choir of the town of Metz, of the opera. Very good tenor. Ça va, William?
All
Okay.
detail that I really liked in the Pampas Grass one. I looked on my phone, images of Pampas, and then I saw, and just when I was looking at images of grass swaying, you had the guitar going, and every time it was perfect there. It's a little detail, but it was so visual and auditory.
Mhm.
James, I just put on the chat Jean-Christophe's
Okay.
email. Okay.
I'm going to come to France.
Yes, please come in Burgundy. We are not so
Ooh.
far from Lyon. Good wines.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Now, our last
please come.
piece, because we don't want Jean-Christophe to be awake all night.
No, it's
No, he
okay.
would like to be awake all night. But I'm supposed to, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to glorify God and listen to him. At any rate, wait a minute. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. Okay. So our last piece we're going to hear, which is very delightful, sung by a women's choir. And can you tell us about that, please, Jean-Christophe?
When I was a young teenager, my friends here and like pop music, rock music. I like too, but I personally I practice more folk music with instruments and it is I heard the old songs, French songs first, and then from other countries, and it remains in my mind. And after in the Conservatory Superior, I was listening. I listen. I studied, ethnomusicology with a great person, Yvette Grimaud. She was famous in France because she played one of she premiered a sonate from Pierre Boulez, for piano. So you imagine the difficulty. And she was also a very good ethnomusicologist. And we hear many kind of music, and I have always this kind of love for this music. This for us is very good to come and on regularly because of the word, because of the simple line. What can we imagine with and Quatuor Méliade, they are four women we sing it together and ask me some arrangement and other composer from different parts from France. And I wrote this. So you need the words again, or perhaps just a minute.
I can read the words. The words are: keep your good time, little girl. Keep your good time if you have it. When you are married, your good time will be over. In other words, enjoy your good times before they disappear. That's a lovely song to sing at a wedding. Reminds me, we had a pastor in our church who left being a pastor and became a lawyer. And I suggested at the end of the wedding ceremony, he could hand the bride and groom a card and say, just in case. Okay, so this is Garde ton band. Okay. And let me
it's a bourrée from center of France. Dance.
Screen. Share.
But cool. Very good.
very effective, very effective. I loved the interplay and the little percussive part from the group and the dynamic. That was a terrific group, and I really liked your piece.
Thank you very much. You know, in Hungary, in Budapest, a very big tradition, musical, very strong school. Very. I visit the Academy France Liszt with the teacher of composition, and it was very interesting. And he showed me a room. He said, "Oh, Bela Bartok was a teacher there, not for composing, for the piano." And he had it with a smile, and he played on this piano. What is not true. But very good singers, and the conductor is great. Yes.
Well, we have been honored to have you with us, and of course we encountered Jean-Christophe on. For those of you that look on Facebook, not that people write much of anything on Facebook, we encountered some of his music, and now we've heard a lot of his music, and that's wonderful. As a sampling kind of like a Godiva chocolates. But that's Belgian, not French, of course. But at any rate,
from Switzerland, you know.
Next,
I would like to send all of his. Sorry. Next
month we will have with us Franco Felice, or Frank Felice, or however you pronounce his name, who teaches at Butler University in Indiana, and is a wonderful guy and a wonderful composer. And he has a new recording. And among the music that will be on this program are arrangements or things he's done with Hildegard von Bingen as part of his basis. So I don't know what date he'll be on, but it will be in October. So when you're through roaming in the neighborhood and smashing pumpkins, you might come in and tune in to Frank's music. Who would like to close us with a prayer? I refuse to. Someone else. You would. That means yes.
Yes.
Please.
All right. Heavenly Father, Lord of all creation, God of gods, Lord of lords, you have given us whatever gifts you intended for us to have. Help us to glorify your name. Help us to bring your people into unity with your word, your spirit, and give us your creative gifts and help us to steward them in the way you would have, because without you we are nothing. And we say with J.S. Bach, Jesu Silva, please help us. And then when we finish the work, we say, Soli Deo Gloria, to only God is the glory. We can do nothing without you, but with you we can do mighty things. So bless the work of our hands, our minds, our hearts.
Yes.
And help us to draw people into your presence, as I believe that Jean-Christophe has certainly been a very deeply contemplative person, and help us to learn from not only your spirit and the word, but all the saints who have followed you into glory. May the church militant be united with the church triumphant. B'Shem Yeshua Mashiachenu, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Shalom Biscum.
Oh, thank you, William, for hosting this. You're really helping us a lot. We need help. We really do.
Yes, and it's good we listen to each other, and we have when you're a composer, if you're like other people I know, like Bill Vollinger, for instance, I know him not as well as I should, but other people as well. There's a lot of frustration that God has given me this talent, and why don't people perform my music more, and that kind of thing. So it's important that we
Absolutely.
keep at it in God and not in ourselves. Whatever we do heartily to the Lord and not to men. And our identity is a gift from God. It is not something that is generated by a review in a newspaper or whatever, or on YouTube. God bless you all. In Jesus' name, everyone here, be well in your families. The people who didn't show up today, who some of them wanted to be here, I know, God bless them as well. And we will have a video available of this shortly. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Okay. God bless you all.
God bless you all, and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all of you. Merci.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Christophe.
Take care.
Bye.